The first light of dawn touched the rice fields, mist rolled across the water, and from the small temple by the edge of the village, the soft sound of bells began to ring. Phra Ajahn Manit stepped out from his cutie, his small wooden hut. He wrapped his robe carefully, picked up his alms bowl, and began to walk. Barefoot, slow, every step calm, steady, and silent. Villagers came out from their homes as he passed. Old women placed sticky rice and bananas into his bowl. Young children knelt beside their mothers, watching. They whispered his name with respect, as if his presence itself brought peace. But Luang Pho, as they called him, was not born peaceful. He had lived another life before this one, a life full of noise, fire, and anger. Manit was once a soldier. He joined the army when he was 19, strong, fearless, and certain that power was everything. He fought in border conflicts, saw his friends die, and learned to hide pain behind laughter and alcohol. When his mother passed away, he came home just in time to light the incense at her funeral. Her last words still burned in his mind. "My son, one day you will understand that strength is not in fighting, but in forgiveness." He didn't understand then, he only felt empty. Days after the cremation, he packed a small bag, gave away what little he had, and walked toward the mountains in the north. He didn't know what he was looking for. He only knew he had to leave everything behind. The journey was long. He slept in temples, sometimes under the stars. He begged for food. He carried no weapons now, only silence. In a forest monastery in Chiang Rai, he met an old monk, Phra Ajahn Manit, a man who spoke little, but whose eyes seemed to know everything. One evening, as rain fell and thunder rolled, the old monk handed Manit a broom and said, "Clean the hall. Don't think about enlightenment, just clean. When your heart is clean, wisdom will follow." Manit didn't reply. He swept in silence, day after day, for months. At first, he felt nothing, only frustration. But one morning, as sunlight spilled through the trees, he noticed how the dust glimmered when the light hit it. And for the first time, he smiled, not because of joy, but because of understanding. Everything in life was just like that dust, floating, rising, and disappearing when light touched it. Years passed. Manit became a monk, not for escape, but for truth. He meditated in caves, chanted with novices, and learned to listen, not to lizzes, but to silence itself. When Ajahn Manit passed away, Manit returned to his village. The people barely recognized him. He was thinner, quieter, but his eyes were clear, like still water after rain. He rebuilt the old temple with his own hands. Children helped carry sand. Farmers brought wood. Within a year, the temple became alive again, not with wealth, but with warmth. The village changed slowly. The drunk men stopped gambling and came to listen to his sermons. He never scolded them. He simply said, "Pain grows where compassion is missing," and somehow, they understood. He taught meditation beneath the banyan tree. He told the children stories about kindness, not as holy lessons, but as memories from his own past. Sometimes he would sit by the river, watching the sunlight ripple on the surface. Villagers came to talk about their worries, money, illness, heartbreak. He never promised miracles. He only said, "Everything passes, like this water. Even sorrow moves on if you don't hold it." Years went by. The world outside grew modern. Cars, phones, neon lights. But in this quiet village, the rhythm of life stayed slow, and the sound of the temple bell still echoed every morning. When Luang Pho grew old, he walked more slowly. His steps were unsteady, but his smile was always bright. One day, when the rains had just begun, he called the young novices to his side. He said, "If you ever forget why you wear these robes, remember this: we are not here to escape the world, but to love it more deeply." That night, the villagers gathered to chant. Candles flickered. Rain whispered on the roof. Luang Pho closed his eyes, and his breath became light, almost like wind. By morning, he was gone, peacefully. No tears, only silence. Years later, the people still talked about him. Not as a saint, but as a man who taught them to be human again. The temple he built still stands. Children laugh in the courtyard. The river flows beside it, just as before. And every morning, when the bell rings and monks walk through the mist, villagers still bow their heads and whisper his name. Phra Ajahn Manit, the noble monk.